Hi, welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with an episode, I suppose, talking about the injury crisis, ever-growing injury crisis at Newcastle United, and now it has been found our goalkeeper, Nick Pope, is knackered officially. It looks like he's going to have surgery on this knackered shoulder. What does it mean for Newcastle? What does it mean for the goalkeeping situation? What does it mean for the January transfer window? We're going to have a look at this in a minute and just bounce a couple of names off you guys and tell you what we think about it. And let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Just before we do, a little reminder, if you're new to the channel, you haven't checked this out before, smash that button, come and join us. We're so close to 6,000 subs. We really want it for Christmas. Only 13 away at this current time of recording. So smash that button, guys. Come and join us. You won't regret it. And you'll be entered the 6K giveaway draw, which is a belter prize. We're going to announce what it is once we get to 6K. But let's get stuck in and talk about this story. Yes, it's devastating, really. I mean, off the back of a great 1-0 victory against Manchester United at the weekend, where Nick Pope again pulled off some brilliant saves. It's so unfortunate for Nick Pope because he looked like he was just getting back to his game, really, in terms of that brilliant shot-stopping prowess that he brings to Newcastle United since we're signing for 10 million from Burnley, an absolute bargain, one of the best signings we've ever made, really, for that value. Great saves against PSG, kept us in the game. Really, he should have been man of the match when we won that game. Got screwed with a penalty. He's brilliant against Manchester United again at the weekend. Didn't have a great deal to do. Made whatever saves he had to make very well, from Garnacho one-on-one. And then he pulls to go and save. I don't think he actually saved the shot. I think it bounced off Fabian Schär in a deflection. And then he lands so awkwardly, Nick Pope, and his shoulder comes off straight away, replaced by Martin Dubravka. And it turns out that I think he's dislocated his shoulder, and he's possibly going to be looking at least 4 months out with an operation, much like Jacob Murphy. So that means he's probably going to miss the entire season. He'll be lucky if he's fit for England's European campaign in the summer. So it's devastating for Nick, obviously, in terms of England as well, but certainly devastating for Newcastle because he brings such a calmness and such a assurance to the back line being in between the sticks. Dubravka has been a great goalkeeper for Newcastle. He will be the number one, at the moment. But what does it mean for January? And does it change the plans in the January transfer window? So we're going to bounce a couple of ideas off you here. So for me, I think come January, we maybe should be looking to sign a goalkeeper. Now, no disrespect to Dubravka, Karius and Gillespie. I think Dubravka is a very capable understudy goalkeeper. He has been a really good number one. He has had his moments when he's flat and he's made some mistakes in the past, hence why we went and got Nick Pope to upgrade him, and people tend to forget that. But he is a good standing goalkeeper in terms of if anything happens to your main keeper. Dubravka is a very good keeper to come in. Karius hasn't really played a great deal over the last few years. He came in against the Carabao Cup final against Manchester United and did all right. I didn't blame him for the goal. I think the sharper keeper maybe saves that opportunity, but Karius has hung around, to obviously be the third choice keeper, third choice keeper, sorry. And Gillespie just seems to carry waters back and forth to the training ground. Seems like a lovely guy, but he hasn't played for the club since he come back. So what does it mean in the January transfer window? What could we do? Now, obviously, financial fair play is a huge deal at the moment. We've only got to see what's happened to Everton. The 10-point deduction to see you can't just go and spunk loads of money on a goalkeeper. We have key positions to look at in January. Maybe the emergence of Louis Miley changes that a little bit. But we need a centre forward. That's going to cost you money. We possibly need a midfielder. That could cost you money unless you get a loan to buy deal. And maybe a centre half as well. The Cells has maybe give us an option there as well till the end of the season at least. But we could possibly need a goalkeeper. So there's two options here. One is the option where you spend money and you look at maybe upgrading on Nick Pope as an overall goalkeeper. And this is the first one I'm going to talk about, and that is this lad here, Aaron Ramsdale at Arsenal. Now, everyone knows about the goalkeeping situation at Arsenal. Aaron Ramsdale did a really good job for Arsenal. He moved there from Bournemouth, looked a really good goalkeeper, got in the England squad, great with his feet, good shot stopper, a bit of a nutter as well, to be fair, shouts to the crowd all the time, and real character. All goalkeepers are a little bit crazy, but he seems to be especially crazy. And then also went and signed David de Gea in the summer, which was a bit weird because they almost had two number ones, and now there's this constant kind of battle and backlash between Gea or Ramsdale. And Ramsdale apparently isn't very happy about it, and I think he's maybe looking for a new club. Now, is Aaron Ramsdale a really good goalkeeper? Yes, he is. He's young as well, and I think he's in his kind of mid-20s, I think, isn't he, in terms of a goalkeeper, really young for a goalkeeper. But what worries me a little bit about Aaron Ramsdale is he is a little bit too mad, possibly, for this Newcastle United team. Now, we are a well-drilled, well-structured, well-organised football team, and Eddie Howe would demand a certain level of behaviour on the pitch and off the pitch. And what worries me a little bit about Ramsdale, he's doing a hell of a lot of these podcasts and stuff like that, and he's going talking on all these different channels. And it worries me a little bit that maybe he's just a little bit too much of a live wire for Eddie Howe. The other side that worries me a little bit about going for Ramsdale in the January transfer window is he would probably cost you about 40 million quid, maybe more. I think Arsenal want 50 million quid. So you'd be looking at a loan to buy deal. And I can't see Arsenal letting a really good goalkeeper go on a loan to buy deal unless I have another keeper to replace him, which I don't think they do have. So if anything happened to Raya, they'd be fucked. So I don't think Arsenal would be that stupid. So let us know what you guys think in the comments below about Aaron Ramsdale. He is very good with his feet. It's one thing Nick Pope really struggles with. When the ball comes to Aaron Ramsdale's feet, he's a great sweeper keeper. He's got good touch, good vision. His kicking is fantastic. His distributing is brilliant. He's a good shot stopper too. I think the only criticism, like I say, gets a little bit too caught up in the crowd and everything else. Not as bad as Jordan Pickford, but he can get a little bit distracted. Maybe that is a concern for Eddie Howe in terms of having that elite mentality of a player. But people said that about Anthony Gordon. We're saying, look how good he's become. So maybe Ramsdale could be an option. But I think that one possibly will be parked until the summer. Any goalkeeping purchase, I think, will be parked until the summer. It all depends on how bad Nick Pope's injury is and how he recovers from that injury, and however Martin Dubravka or anybody else feels about being a number two for the long term. We've already heard that maybe Dubravka doesn't want to be a number two, and that's why he got a bit pissy when alone at Manchester United. But let us know what you guys think about Aaron Ramsdale. The other option here is a player who has been linked already to Newcastle United. It's out there at all the media outlets now. And it's this lad here. No, it's not the burglar from Home Alone. It is, of course, David de Gea, Manchester United legend, if you want to call him that, which he was, really. So he played over 400 odd times for Manchester United. He's played over 500 times in his career. He's only 33 years old as a goalkeeper, which is really young in goalkeeper terms. And he's actually the fourth highest clean sheet holder in Premier League history, just behind Peter Cech, David James, Mark Schwarzer. So David de Gea has had a fantastic career in the Premier League. Obviously didn't end very well at Manchester United. He moved on. They upgraded in their eyes, and they've got a sweeper keeper in Onana, who's basically made of tracing paper. Yeah, he's great with his feet, but that's about all he is. He's shit with his hands. He flaps at crosses. He concedes shit chances that De Gea would save with a blindfold on. So this could be a really good bit of business for Newcastle United, mainly because David de Gea is currently without a club. Now, it makes you wonder, why on earth is a goalkeeper of this quality being without a club for like 7 months now? It could very well be down to the fact that he was on 375 grand a week at Manchester United, and not a lot of clubs are going to want to pay that for a 33-year-old goalkeeper, certainly with FFP ramping up the way that it is. I mean, I think Saudi Arabia have had a little nibble or sniff at David de Gea, apparently MLS. I think at Miami, David Beckham's had a little look at David de Gea, but I still think as a goalkeeper, he's got a lot to offer at the very top level. I don't think you should maybe be going to those semi-retirement homes like Saudi Arabia or the MLS. I really do think he could have a lot to offer for a top-level European side. And why not make that Newcastle United? For me, this deal makes perfect sense for David de Gea and for Newcastle United as well. We would get an experienced goalkeeper, a top goalkeeper, who could fill in and play in that number one position while Nick Pope is out injured. Or Dubravka's understudy, a very, very good one as well. Someone who's tried and tested. Yes, he's been out for 7 months, but I think he would get back to speed quite quickly. Excellent shot stopper, good distribution. David de Gea is an outstanding goalkeeper. The only sticking point for Newcastle United on this one, I think, is he'd have to drop those wages, because there's no way in God's green earth we're paying the lad 375 grand a week. No chance. I mean, if we sign him on a short-term deal, maybe till the end of the season, with a review there, with an option to look at it again, maybe that could be a good bit of business for Newcastle United. Who knows? I might do a little bit of jiggery-pokery, sign him for a Saudi club, but loan him to Newcastle for 6 months. That could be a way to get around this. And then Saudi Arabian side pay half his wages, Newcastle pay the other half. Who knows? But I think David de Gea would be a fantastic signing for Newcastle. I really do. You know, like I say, his quality and his ability has never been in question. You know, for anyone outside of Manchester, really, I think they got so caught up in this sweeper keeper thing. They wanted to be like Liverpool with Alisson. They wanted to be like City with Edison. They wanted to have Neuer from Bayern Munich. So they were adamant that they needed a goalkeeper who was great with his feet. And then they totally neglected to get a goalkeeper who was good with his hands, which is what David de Gea was. He kept Manchester United in so many games, you know, throughout the course of the last few seasons. You know, he left obviously in 2023, but he kept them in so many games when they were utterly fucking dreadful. And I think they're regretting letting him go now. I mean, only another month, you know, some of the prominent Manchester United podcasters were calling for David de Gea to come back and an honour to be dropped. So for me, I think this would be a fantastic deal. This is the deal I would go for over Ramsdale, mainly because of the financial benefits of it as well, on a free transfer. Sign de Gea on a short-term deal till the end of the season, see how he gets on, get him fit, get him in the picture, and let's just see how he does. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below about these goalkeepers. It's livid about Nick Pope. We're devastated about Nick Pope. But Newcastle cannot rest in the laurels here. We can't fuck around We need to sign a goalkeeper who can walk in and be that number one. I'm not sure Dubravka can be that number one long term. I think he will have a wobble. He will have a problem. And, you need a good goalkeeper to come and step in and take that pressure off Martin Dubravka. If we're still in the Champions League, of course, we want to play who isn't cup-tied. I'm sure we could still register him. Because Pope will be out of the squad and he could just take his place in the squad. I'm sure we could do that. I don't think that would be a problem. There's no in the comments below if I'm wrong about that. But yeah, for me, David de Gea at Newcastle United makes perfect sense. If he's willing to lower those wages, and why wouldn't he? Give him a chance to play top level Premier League football again, and we can just laugh at the Manchester United fans as we wind them up even more. But let us know what you guys think in the comments, as I say, about the goalkeepers. Are you happy with the two that we've got, or the three that we've got, in Dubravka, Karius and Gillespie? Do we need a goalkeeper? Yes or no? Let us know what you guys think. We always like to hear from you. We always do our best to engage. If you take the time to type something, we'll take the time to reply. And as I mentioned at the start, if you haven't already, consider subscribing. We'd love you to come and join us. Loads of room for more. It's all free content. But if you do want to give a bit back to the channel, there's a members option there for less than £2 a month. Definitely worth clicking to get early access to all these videos ahead of everybody else. Smash that button. Show us your support, guys. Help us keep bringing you this great content from Evermore as we do. And if you can like as well, helps all the old YouTube algorithms and everything else. Have a great day wherever you are, especially you, Nick Pope. Get well soon, Bonnie lad, and we'll catch you later. Cheers.